Okay, so, hi, I'm Libby. I haven't really shown my face that much, but it's mostly been the chickens and the cats and the plants. But I just wanted to make a little video and tell you guys kind of about our goals, things we want to do here on the farm, and yeah. So I have a little list here, so if I'm looking away, it's because I'm trying not to forget anything. And so, yeah, so I'll kind of get started. Kind of the reason we started to kind of make our little hobby farm here is because we wanted to grow as much of our own food as we possibly can. There's a lot of like bad things in our food these days, or a lot of like scary things you hear about, and E. coli outbreaks and all those kinds of things. And so I don't know, it's nice to know where your food comes from. I think we've lost that as modern society, and things kind of get more convenient. And there are definitely times where convenience is necessary, and we don't do everything perfectly all the time, but as much as we can, I try to do everything like from scratch, use whole foods. That's why I really started doing canning. I think I mentioned in my recipe video of the beef stroganoff that I have my own canned broth. I started doing that this last year, and it's been awesome. I mean, I used to freeze it, and that's okay. I mean, it works, but now that I'm using it more, especially in the wintertime, I use a lot of it. We make soup a lot. It's probably like my favorite food, honestly. So, yeah, so we can broth. I've canned meats, have beef and pork, and I did breakfast sausages, which actually are pretty good. I used some today in our scrambled eggs, and they were really yummy. So, and I canned a bunch of pinto beans, about 16 pints of those, and they're good to just throw in a chili, or like today I made just a regular, just a soup. I just pulled carrots out of the garden and some beets, and used the canned broth and the pinto beans and the canned meat, and it made a really good soup. So things like that. I just like to do cooking a lot. I cook pretty much everything from scratch. I don't use processed anything really anymore. I use canned goods from the store a lot sometimes, canned vegetables, things like that. Things are easy to store. And I can talk about prepping in another video if anybody wants to hear about kind of our thoughts on that and stuff. But yeah, so that's kind of why we started. As far as some goals we have, for sure, I would like to get some raised beds. We've been researching and watching different videos on that, and we think we've found a design, or at least my husband said he found one that he really liked, and he showed me, and I think it's pretty cool too. So we're gonna hopefully get it started on those, like maybe before winter hits, but he's really excited, so he wants to do all this stuff, which is cool. But definitely for next year, we're not getting any younger, and digging around in the ground and having to climb down there and weed and all that stuff it's no fun. So yeah, we're gonna do that. And as far as like we have quite a bit of land, and we could make a bigger garden, but I think with the raised beds too, it helps us to kind of maximize our space, because we have a good amount of land, but personally I like to leave it kind of go. I like to let it be wild and free, be itself, if we can, if we're not going to use it for anything. So I like to see the wildflowers. I think it's beautiful. I like that it encourages bees and butterflies and hummingbirds and all the pollinators that to come and hang out in our space, and pollinate our plants and things like that. So I think it's really cool, and I just like to leave that. Plus there's some wild plants that I'm learning about and doing more research on herbalism and things like that. So yeah, I really like that. So that helps us too. And as far as animals go, we do have chickens, obviously. It's Libby's chicken ranch. But there are egg layers right now. In the future, we hope to be able to get, we want to do meat birds, meat chickens, and process those ourselves. We'd like to get a pig one year, maybe a cow. We kind of looked at some Dexter cows. They're a miniature breed, so they don't need as much land. Even talked about sheep, a knitter and a crocheter, and I think it would be cool to process the wool and learn how to do all of that stuff, because you just never know. Plus, it could be fun. I'm a huge nerd, and I like to learn things hands-on, and I always thought it would be cool to learn how to spin, and if we have our own sheep, like, what perfect opportunity. So that's something in the future, possibly, maybe, but yeah. So another thing too that we want to use for our garden is a greenhouse. We're kind of still doing research, going back and forth on sorry, chickens are making noises. We're going back and forth on different designs and things like that. So but we're kind of narrowing it down. The problem here is that it's super windy. There's no trees, really anything to block the wind. And, that's something else, too, we want to add to our little garden here and stuff is trees and fruit trees and other trees. But as of right now, we don't really have anything as a windbreak. So, hoop house isn't really an option for us right now. But, we've seen some pretty cool ideas with, like, those plastic corrugated clear panels that could be an option. And so we're kind of looking into it. We're going to finish leveling out the space that we want to put it. And then with that, I would like to eventually plant enough starts, especially from seeds, because I have started saving seeds from our previous harvests. And what I want to do with those is hopefully start our own starts and plants and things like that, and be able to sell those at like a farmer's market or something. They do have some around here. Most of them are pretty far from where we are, but it would be worth a trip, I think, if there's an interest for that kind of thing, which I think there would be. So yeah, that's definitely a goal for the next year or two, hopefully. Also, compost. We don't have a compost system yet. I've tried, and I don't know. I'm not doing it right or something, but yeah, so we're gonna look into getting one of those bins. I think they call them just the barrel or something, where you turn it to get it started, and then after that, we'd be able to finish it out in other places and stuff, just to get it going. That's the problem. Once I get it going, I think it'll be okay, but I'm probably overthinking it. That's what I do in those things. So who knows? But what else? Oh, and with the compost too, I've seen a few different people on YouTube who do composting with their chickens, which I think is pretty cool. They live mostly on compost and food scraps and things like that. My biggest hurdle with that is I haven't really found any reliable volume, like a large volume of food scraps to be able to feed our chickens and things. But it's definitely something that I hope to do in the future. So I'm kind of doing some more research, and got to try and remember to ask around town when I go, hey, would you be willing to donate food scraps if I brought buckets and stuff like that. So yeah, so I think that covers most of it. Oh, and another reason why we want to raise our own animals and stuff is because of the hormones and the antibiotics and things they put in the food. I mean, that was the big reason why we wanted to get our own chickens, because like for my own health, like I have some stuff going on with my endocrine system. It's not diabetes, but it's related to my hormones and things like that, and in my pituitary gland. And I noticed that when I switched to different eggs, I just felt so much better. things just felt like they were more in balance. And so I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not, but yeah. Oh, hi, Harriet. I have a chicken. You can't see her, but what's up, my girl? Well, I'm trying to do a video. Do you want to say hi? Do you want to say hi, Harriet? Come here. You want to say hi? Say hi. This is Harriet. They don't really like to be picked up that much, but I do once in a while. Hi, honey. You're our littlest chicken, huh? Yeah, we named you Harriet Houdini because you tried to escape out of the coop like all the time last year, huh? Yeah. Well, you better go get to looking for bugs. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah. It's not food, dude. Oh boy. Chickens are a little bit like raising toddlers, kind of, sort of, I've noticed, at least as far as like the toddlers I've nannied for and babysat in the past. It's a lot of, hey, don't put that in your mouth, or don't eat that, or, you know, who knew? Who knew all my years of nannying and babysitting would be preparing me for chicken tendering. Chicken tending? I don't know. I'm losing my mind here. So, but anyways, I hope that is informative and gives you guys a good idea of kind of what we're up to out here and kind of what my husband and I are kind of wanting to do with everything. And, you know, in between that, I do like to knit and crochet, and, you know, that's something that I hope to be able to kind of turn into a little bit of business and help things too, but I'm kind of slow at knitting and crocheting. So, yeah, just as my brother, it took me 5 years to make his blanket, so oops. But anyways, hope you guys have a good day, and I will catch you next time. Okay, bye. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe and all that. And I'll include, in the end, I'll include a link to a video of the guy who does his chickens on compost. It's kind of my inspiration for wanting to do that with our own girls. So I'll leave that link at the end here. All right, take care, guys. Bye.